Hello, it's Michael, and I'm going to make a video this afternoon, real quick, hopefully real quick, about influence. And let me get on this bike here. Boom, that's the bike. So anyway, about influence. And I read something recently, actually I heard it on a podcast, basically saying that your 5 closest friends are going to be potentially the biggest influencers of how you currently live your life, and possibly in the future live your life. And then also, hold on one second. And then also you have to consider the 5 most frequent environments that you place yourself, whether or not it's social environments or physical environments, like me being on this bridge. This bridge is probably one of my 5 primary places to exercise and to actually spend some time. So that's just kind of an example. So let's consider real quick the 5 people that are in your closest proximity for the largest majority of your time. So we can say that one of those, if you are married or in a primary relationship, with which most people are, would be your spouse. So real quick, your spouse is going to influence you because a lot of times what most people tend to do in relationships, other than sleep together, is they spend time watching television or doing activities, if not together, in the proximity of each other. So one may be watching TV, the other may be cooking or on the computer, which was historically my situation for most of my life. And then also eating together. So I know when I am not in the relationship, that's one of the things that I miss most, is just having someone to go eat with. So we can consider if the number one person in those 5 people is someone that we spend a lot of time decompressing activities with and eating with, if we are doing that in an unhealthy fashion, so decompressing in an unhealthy fashion, or treating and poisoning ourselves rather than nourishing ourselves, then you can see how that could be quite a challenge and a detriment to both people involved. So one circumstance that happens is a lot of times when people break up and find themselves single, they actually start eating much differently than they were before, because they don't have the influence of the other person. And you can argue that, well, maybe that's because they're depressed, so they're not eating the same, they're not eating as much, or because they are all of a sudden have a motivation to try and find another partner or someone to have sex with or something, so they get back into the gym. But I think a lot of it has to do just with the not having the influence of the other person. So some things that I've noticed is that a lot of times when there's a husband and wife, or a girlfriend and boyfriend, and all of a sudden one of them decides to change their habits and their path, that the other person may be not too happy about this, and they may fight or refuse to eat healthy, which one person wants to eat healthy, and all of a sudden, and the other person doesn't. One person wants to start exercising and moving, and the other person doesn't. And it's really easy to fall back into the same pattern, because you're basically you're having to swim upstream against the other person that is your primary influencer. So unless you're exceptionally strong and have unless you're really grounded and know why it is that you want to make these changes, and are willing to go against against the current of your partner, potentially, then you're likely going to fail. So it's just good to have that awareness starting off. And then some of the other influences that may, like your primary 1 or 2, best friends, or people that you hang out with all the time, and then also maybe people at work, because you spend a lot of time at work. So we could say number 1, your mate. Number 2 and 3, probably the 2 people that you spend most of the time with at work, and number 4 and 5, your 2 main friends that you've been friends with for a long time and actually still spend time with. So you can see how all of those sources of influence, if you're not aware of them and you don't take control of those sources of influence, then there are going to be huge points of failure. So the reason that I'm making this video is to maybe bring some awareness and to have you actually consider, well, how can I do a better job with this? How can I actually have these people contribute rather than fight against me? And that's that's going to be a topic of another video. But I just thought I'd bring that to light. Now, you can consider choosing those 5 people more wisely. So you can remove 1 or 2, or you can make those number 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 3, 4, and 5. You can put them further down the list and bring in people to replace them. So this is one reason to get a coach, because what you're doing is actually temporarily, you don't have to have a coach permanently, but even temporary for like a 2 or 3 month or 44 day, which is basically what I do with my clients. Basically put someone that is a positive deviant, a positive influencer, into one of those slots. Doesn't have to be the number 1 spot, but it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you do this, what you want to do, and this is why you'll always see me on my videos listening to podcasts, that it doesn't actually necessarily have to be a live physical person. It could just be somebody that you're spending a large amount of time that's influencing you to get to the goals that you want to achieve. So an example would be, let's just say somebody that really likes the message that I have, and they feel like that some of the videos that I have influenced them, then and we're working together, they can actually spend time listening to some of my videos, because as most of them are pretty long. So some of them are 45 minutes to an hour long. That's about the time of a workout. So I could recommend that they listen to one of those videos while they're working out. They don't have to actually look at the video. They can change it into an MP3 format and just listen to the message. Or you can find someone that is more motivational to you on YouTube, and just try. You can have multiple, or you can just find one person. For me, for probably 2 years ago, that person was Elliot Hulse, Hulse, and his primary message is to become the strongest version of yourself. And that's something that I have always tried to do, but I didn't have it in as concise a message as he brings it. So he actually taught me a lot and helped me kind of make my own path more efficient, and to solidify it. So he was one of my 5 primary influences for a while, and now probably on my top 5 life goals, number 1 is to become the strongest version of myself. So even though I haven't listened to one of his videos in quite a while, he is still a primary influencer of me, and I've actually never met him. So anyway, I just thought I'd just mention this real quick while I was out on a bike ride today, and I hope you're having a good day. All right, talk to you soon. Mend yourself, move, educate, nourish, and rest.